Gardner's is honored to be Lancaster's favorite mattress store 15 years in a row, voted a favorite every year since 2010. Every day of the year we work to be your favorite mattress store, and we earn the right to be a favorite with you, our next customer, with the way we help you wake up happy and find the right fit. And remember, it's not a mattress until you wake up happy on one from Gardner's Mattress & More. Double Deal savings events happening now.
You're listening to the Bulldog Hour, getting you inside the Wilson football program with weekly game previews, recaps, highlights, and interviews. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Mays and Justin Raffoff.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show. Incorrect. It's Bulldog Hour season now. Well, you know, at least for this episode, Justin.
I didn't catch it until you said incorrect, and I'm like, my mind was racing. I was like, oh, wait, what's going on?
It has been a while now, Justin.
It has been.
We haven't had a Bulldog Hour episode since November 16th, I think, was our last show. Yeah. Season 11 wrapped up with 19 episodes.
I believe weather maybe did not cooperate to help with some of that scheduling.
Yeah, you're right, but we're back here now to kick off season 12 with the first episode, season premiere. Yeah, you're right. Weather did mess up our schedule. We were supposed to do this show 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's usually 2 weeks after the Super Bowl is when we had been debuting the next season of the Bulldog Hour. I know when we started that a few years back, having a show in February, I think people were like, man, it's only February. We're 6 months away from significant Wilson football talk. But then the diehards come out and go, no, we can talk about Wilson football at any point of the year. And that's why we have done it this way, Justin. We have a late winter show for a number of years now. And we are kicking things off here for the season 12 premiere by kind of wrapping up things from 2025 first, because when we did our last show in November after the playoff loss at Central York, we didn't have a lot of the awards, the accolades, the Lancaster Lebanon League All-Stars, the Berks All-Stars, the All-State performers. None of that gets announced until Thanksgiving to Christmas. And I feel bad moving past that without recognizing the performances from especially the graduating seniors that are not going to be part of Wilson football anymore. We want to make sure that they get their, the last discussion and congratulations from us for their 2025 performance. And then obviously we have a lot to talk about as it comes to the 2026 team.
Yeah, we always kind of like take this show to put a bow on like season 11 of the Bulldog Hour, but last year's team, and then we kind of take that step forward and take the early look and look at things and the happenings of what is happening and going to happen for this coming year's team.
Yeah, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a good one. We've got plenty to talk about. It's going to be a very busy hour here that we have, and we're going to dive right in. No guests this evening, Justin. We are working on that. There are many people that have been mentioned to me or have reached out about being part of the off-season shows to get Wilson football and Wilson football adjacent discussions. We're working with a guest to talk kind of general Berks County football. Hopefully that's coming up in the next month or two. I would like to do at least 2 more shows before we get started with the weekly shows, which kick off usually that first or second Sunday in August. After we have time to interview the coaches and the players, we kick things off in a big way. Those are always the most popular shows of the season, are the ones that happen at the beginning and middle of August. So obviously we've got about 5 months to go until that. We are almost exactly 5 months removed from the scrimmage, which I don't know who we're going to be playing yet. It is undecided. We have been playing Coatesville the last few years, but last I knew that wasn't set in stone of who we would be playing and where, but it will be on Saturday. I believe it's August 22nd. It's always in the morning. But location, opponent, TBD. But we have a lot of scheduled talk to get to, and we're going to do that. But before we do that, I do want to thank the sponsors here at the Bulldog Hour, specifically the three that bring this show to you every week during the season, at least for season 11 this past fall. And that is my dad and sister at May's Sandwich Shop, Jeff Giannakovo, and the great people at Gardner's Mattress and More. And of course, Steve Simons and S&S Mechanical. And they are the presenting sponsors of the Bulldog Hour, and it will remain that way through July of this year. Of course, if they or anyone else would like to join us again for the 2026 football season, season 12 of this show, you are more than welcome to do so to help us out here. And in addition to Mays, Gardners, and S&S, we also want to thank the Miller family, Realtor Eric Weiser from Berkshire Hathaway, Mike Drago Sports, Andy Herr, the Challenger family, and our two anonymous donors for helping us out for the 2025 season and here in the off-season leading up to the fall of 2026. Again, they're all sponsors all the way through July of this year, and we appreciate their support. But we are already looking ahead, 6 months from now. And if anyone would like to sponsor the show, present the show, please reach out to me, and we will get that done. But we appreciate the support from all of these individuals and businesses. Our next live show, Justin, to be determined. Hopefully there'll be two more before we get to August, like I said, and the weekly Sunday show. It looks like we're going to be aiming for Sunday, August 9th to kick things off. And sometimes we have so much content that we throw one up in the middle of the week. That's how it goes sometimes. So, I'm very much looking forward to it. Usually, Justin, it's May when I start to get amped up, but for some reason, I'm already excited.
I was going to say, judging by our conversations this week, I feel like you're there.
I am there.
You're at that point where you're ready for football and those things. Maybe it's because your NFL team is paying $90 million for a quarterback to not play for them. That you're just like, no, we're not going to worry about the draft right now. We're going to focus on Wilson football.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where I'm at, and it's kept me busy for a
I
lot
mean
of
that
reasons.
like as a realistic thing, not a sarcastic thing. I will say sarcastic things, usually not as much on this show, but yeah, hey, we've hit that point. It's exciting, and also I think some of it too is. Like you said, we're going to mention some of the awards and recognition from last year, but there's also some exciting things happening for some of the guys on the team already in true off-season things.
Oh, yeah.
Not just like,
a lot to talk about.
Oh, hey, they're lifting. It's stuff beyond that. So
no, and speaking of the live show, we're doing that now. We're doing it here from the studio here at the basement of my house where Justin and I have been doing podcasts and video shows for over 15 years now. We're on the 12th year of the Bulldog Hour. Right. So the time flies by, but there's talk about
soon drive.
Yeah. So we've done shows on the road before, Justin.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a hassle to do on the road. We set up at Wilson Minithon, which was awesome.
That was
a lot of work to get done. We did our 100th episode of the Joe Mays and J-Raff show live from West Lawn United Methodist Church with Chad Henney, which was fantastic. We had, I think, close to or over 50 people watch us in the little room at the church. It was a lot of fun. There has been talk about taking this show on the road, which other than when we did it from the back of your car or my car at Cedar Crest.
That was crazy.
Which was not a great experience. Tech-wise, it was a disaster.
It was just an interesting evening all around.
It was. But from the tech, and my satisfaction with the production of the show, it was not there. But things have gotten a lot better in the years since then. When was that? Was that 2019?
Dude, you were asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at that.
Well, anyways, there's a chance that we could possibly be doing this live somewhere in the future. But we do want to also spotlight a business that recently opened that wants to be tied to Wilson football in the Bulldog Hour, and that is the Valley Bar and Grill, which just opened, grand opening at the home of the former barbecue pit. So if you're familiar with that location, up towards the end of Singing Spring and close to entering Wernersville, I guess, but down past the Sheets on Penn Avenue, check out the Valley Bar and Grill. We appreciate them giving us a behind-the-scenes look at the development of the restaurant, and they're very keen on getting involved with Wilson and Wilson football and us here at the Bulldog Hour, and we're working through with that. We appreciate their interest, and we will see what we can get together.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
we wanted to make sure everyone was aware that the Valley Bar and Grill is now open. They've been open for a week. I believe the grand opening was last Sunday. So hopefully you all can check out and try them on Penn Avenue. All right, Justin, let's get to our recognition part of the show, talking about accolades from the 2025 season. We'll start at the top, probably the biggest one, which was Wilson ended up having not one, not two, but three individuals recognized as all-state performers. Two of the three are still going to be playing at Wilson on Friday nights this fall. But congratulations. You know, this came out in December, but Jaden Carpenter, Michael Glover, and E.J. Brownback were all recognized by PA Football News as all-state players in 2025. And this is not the last you'll hear of these three names at all tonight. They'll all be mentioned many, many times as we go through all the great stuff that happened in 2025 and will happen in 2026. But yeah, Jaden Carpenter, Michael Glover, E.J. Brownback, all state players.
Yeah, and that was awesome, really exciting. Like you mentioned, two of those three guys are coming back. I don't know that I would consider Carp like we generally talk about how there's a senior who kind of flies under the radar and then really breaks out their senior year. Because, like, I don't know, maybe it's just different. But, like, I don't know if he really fits that mold that we typically have for that. But, man, did he have an awesome season.
Had an awesome year, yeah.
And it was exciting to see, and I know he had a great winter track season, and he is looking to have a great spring track season.
Well, I think, actually, wasn't he at National Indoors?
Yeah, he was at National Indoors this past week.
Yeah, so he's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's very talented
Which,
athlete.
again, if you saw him flying around this fall on the football field,
right.
that sounds about right, because, man, is he fast.
Yeah, an incredible athlete, all-state football player, all-state indoor and outdoor track, blazing speed, going to nationals, like just awesome for Jaden. And like I said, not the last time we're going to mention Jaden Carpenter tonight. And the same is true for Michael Glover and E.J. Brownback. But one last time, congratulations to Wilson Bulldogs, all-state players, Jaden Carpenter, Michael Glover, and E.J. Brownback. All right, we're going to move on to the all-star teams now, and we'll start first with the Lancaster-Lebanon League Section 1 All-Stars as picked by the LL Quarterback Club. And, well, Justin, let's talk about two of the guys that we just had up there for All-State. Michael Glover and Jaden Carpenter were both given individual awards following the 2025 season. Glover named the Outstanding Lineman and Offensive Lineman of the Year for his play at tight end. And then Jaden Carpenter was the Defensive Back of the Year across all of Lancaster-Lebanon League Section 1. So congratulations to those two players for their individual awards from the Lancaster-Lebanon League's Quarterback Club.
I was thinking when I made that, I made the statement about Jaden, I was typically thinking of him at wide receiver, but he did have a great year defensively as well. And I can't remember what game it is where he came up on the little, I don't know if it was a screen, but it was a short, very short pass on the home side. This is Zach Gursky, and he lit someone up, and I thought he might have killed him. Like he just destroyed him. I forget which game it is, but I'm gonna try and have to track that down.
Yeah, figure that out. So let's move on now to first team offense for LL Section 1. As picked by the Quarterback Club, got 7 players named to the first team offense. Pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
For one team to have 7 players on offense. And I'm going to go in order. We'll start in left and end on the right. We're going to start with running back Corell Akings, offensive tackle Avery Manara, wide receiver Jaden Carpenter, tight end Michael Glover. I believe Corell was also on there as a returner. And Jesse Etchberger at offensive line as well, offensive guard this past year. And, of course, quarterback Mason Young, all first-team offensive players. So Corell getting in there twice. And, obviously, Michael and Jaden, when you're named an individual award winner, you're probably going to show up on the first team as well. And there they are. So 6 different players, 7 awards.
As we've discussed, I make no assumptions when it comes to the logic behind some of these when it comes to league recognitions and things like that.
Yeah, and there's gonna. I know there was some.
It's tough. They're in an impossible spot, and I'm biased.
Well,
towards Wilson guys.
Of course,
but,
we're supposed to be. That's
but
what this show is about.
Yeah, we joke about this before. But like after Cam had 7 return touchdowns,
it wasn't named
was
returner
not
of the
named
year.
returner of the year. That's when I was like, Listen, I understand that other people have great years and it's tough, but I also have my opinions on it too. So I never want to assume, but it's awesome to see the Wilson guys get recognition. Yes.
Yeah, and I mentioned senior offensive lineman Jesse Etchberger on there as one of the first-team offensive players as selected by the LL Quarterback Club. I did want to mention, I think I mentioned this on the Joe Mays and J-Raff show because I think it was given to me after our last show.
I think so.
So I wanted to make sure I give a thank you to the Etchbergers and the senior parents for getting this football over to me, to the Wilson Bulldogs football seniors from the fall of 2025. I know there was a few people involved in this, so thank you to all of you. I know I was in talk with the Etchbergers, and it was dropped off at the sandwich shop by them, so I want to thank them for putting this, getting this over to me and having it here in the Bulldog Hour studio now forever. It's will be part of our set decoration for those for those guests that get to come here in person and record with us. So thank you to the fall 2025 seniors, the class of 2026, for thinking of us here at the Bulldog Hour. We very much appreciate it. Back to LL All-Stars, first team defense as picked by the quarterback club. They are Jaden Carpenter, of course, again, defensive back of the year. Ethan Harding, outside linebacker. Michael Glover at defensive end. Cole Peterson, I believe, was on there as the long snapper. Malachi Tolles at defensive line, defensive tackle. E.J. Brownback at inside linebacker. And Chase Herb, all getting nods from the quarterback club as Section 1 All-Stars on the defensive side. A few people also getting mentioned on second team. We got Mel Gaston, another shout out for Corell Akings for his performance this year. Elijah Dean and junior offensive lineman David Wise were all picked as LL All-Stars on the second team. Also had a few honorable mentions to talk about. Braden Farrell at outside linebacker, Chase Herb as a punter, Preston Simons, offensive line, and Preston Oxenrider, the freshman place kicker, making it as the honorable mention for his performance as a 9th grader. So great to see.
It's very interesting because I remember a couple years ago when we had him at West, we were like, this kid can kick.
Yeah.
And it's worked out really well for him. So hopefully that keeps trending in that direction. That's awesome.
Yep, it's nice when you make those recommendations to the high school coaches and it works out in your favor.
Right.
Because Preston had a fantastic freshman year as the place kicker, and just look for things to grow and get better over these next 3 years. So very much looking forward to his continued improvement and the experience he's getting. All right, let's take a look at now the BCIAA, the Berks County Awards from 2025. We'll start with first team offense again. No surprise, Jaden Carpenter and Michael Glover were named at wide receiver and tight end respectively. And again, Mason Young, first team quarterback, LL, first team quarterback for the Berks schools. So a very standout season from the one season starter at quarterback, which Wilson has gotten quite used to over the last 20 years. A lot of single-season starters that have really played quite well.
Yeah.
And Mason was definitely that this past season. And LL coaches and Berks coaches all took notice.
Absolutely.
All right, second team from first team on defense. Let's do first team defense first. Once again, well, it's the All-State guys. The three guys that made All-State were also, thankfully, first team Berks performers. It kind of would be weird if you had an All-State player not make your first team, but Berks coaches got it right here. E.J. Brownback, Michael Glover, and Jaden Carpenter all recognized by the Berks County Interscholastic Athletic Association and the coaches. Brownback, Glover, Carpenter, first team defense. And second team offense and defense got Jesse Etchberger, Cole Peterson, Chase Herb, and Malachi Tolles. All have been mentioned by LL, also getting the nod from Berks. And then a few honorable mentions as well down in Berks with Harding, Dean, Oxenrider, Akings, Manara, and Herb. Once again, all guys that were mentioned on first or second team or honorable mention in LL also get picked by Berks to be recognized as individual performers for the 2025 season. So obviously, Justin, with a lot of these individuals recognized and a bunch of them being seniors, you're probably thinking, well, where are these guys going to be playing in the future? Because are these guys playing somewhere in the future? And thankfully, the answer to that is absolutely. There are a handful or more that are going to be playing football or other sports. Not all of them are going to be playing football at the next level, but there are a handful of Bulldogs at the next level that have the opportunity to play. I believe 4 of them have committed for sure. I don't know that I've gotten official word on if Jaden has made a decision or not yet. He's been quite busy with indoor track, but he is going to have an opportunity to play football in college if he would like. Now, our committed individuals, Mason Young, we talked about, first team quarterback for LL and Berks, is going to be playing at Albright. And Eli Dean, we mentioned his name a few times already. He's going to be playing at Lebanon Valley. Jay-Z Hector is moving on to Alvernia. So a little Albright-Alvernia throwdown between Mason and Jay-Z coming up. And like I mentioned, Jaden Carpenter has a scholarship offer from East Stroudsburg University to play football there. And I know the one on here is just a scholarship offer for Correll, but Correll has announced that he is playing football for the Shippensburg Raiders.
Yep.
So Correll playing football in college for Shippensburg. So those 5 for sure have offers or commitments to continue their football career in the fall of 2026 after they graduate. So congratulations to those young men for making that decision and keeping football a part of their life. That is absolutely awesome. And I mentioned, we've said Jaden Carpenter's name a bunch, All-State, individual awards, first team offense, defense, opportunity to play college football if he so chooses. And he's also going to be representing Wilson at the East-West All-Star game. The Pennsylvania State Football Coaches Association have selected him to play for the East squad, and that is May 17th at Cumberland Valley's Chapman Field. And he'll have a familiar man on the sideline there with him. Head coach Doug Doms is going to be head coach Doug Doms for the East-West game. So Doug is leading the East squad in that All-Star game here in just about 2 months, just a little over 2 months away, believe it or not. Those end of the school year All-Star games where the seniors get to lace them up, some probably for the last time. The Big 33 game will be happening. Jaden and Coach Doms will be at the East-West All-Star game. And then I know some rosters have been trickling out, but obviously the big one for a lot of Wilson players is the Tri-County All-Star game, which is the Friday before Memorial Day at Ratu Stadium, the home of the Manheim Central Barons. I believe 5 or 6 Wilson players may be participating in that. I have not seen any official posts about rosters yet, so I'm going to hold off on that. But if you'd like to see some of these class of 2026 players one more time representing Wilson, you might want to get to Ratu Stadium at Manheim Central on May 22nd. But a few days before that, make sure you go to Chapman Field to see Jaden Carpenter and Coach Doug Doms for the East squad in the Titan Threads PSFCA East-West All-Star game. All right, so I think at this point now, we're going to shift from 2025 and look ahead to 2026. And the first thing that's always on the top of everyone's mind is the football schedule, because Justin, since it's an even number year, that means it's a new 2-year cycle.
Yep.
So not only do we have the opportunity for different non-league games, the league schedule could change, and also classifications
classifications change, which also factors into some of those decisions, especially in non-league, but also not so much for us, but like in some section alignments, there's a lot of ripples to the classification cycle, I should say.
Right.
And it kind of finds its way into all of those things.
Yeah, it certainly has. And unfortunately, because of the way things have worked out, we are once again saddled with an uneven schedule,
Yes.
Justin. There will be an an uneven distribution of home and away games. Unfortunately, I mean, it's disappointing.
No,
it's frustrating,
right.
but
it is
sometimes
right.
that happens.
And honestly, I try to keep the perspective on this one because there was a moment in time where you and I were talking. We're like, they're staring down the barrel of a 3 home, 7 away schedule.
Yeah, the stuff
which we knew while that was still unlikely, the fact that it was even a possibility is rare. Like that doesn't happen unless you're having home field type issues or like construction issues or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Muhlenberg went through it a couple years ago.
Right.
Warwick was going through it where they had 1, 2, or 3 home games and then the rest were away. But the next year it flip-flopped for them, which is awesome. But since there's not an ongoing issue at Gursky Stadium, let's knock on whatever. I mean, that's fake wood, but it comes down to who can you find to play you, who's willing to play you, can you reciprocate, and who gets to dictate home and away.
Right. And like for those weeks, like it's tough. And we've seen, like, I know we had this discussion a bunch last year. Teams or people were like, why did we drop Central Dauphin? Well, we didn't really drop Central Dauphin. They didn't really drop us either. It's their league went to 9 league games. So they only have 1 game. Like, so it's not just as simple as like, well, why don't you guys play so-and-so? Well, one, so-and-so has to be willing to play. So-and-so has to have the same week available that we have available, and then it has to also work out home and away or be close to working out home and away for both schools. So like it's more complicated than just, well, why don't you play X, Y, or Z? Like it's not that simple.
It's not that simple.
Yet another time where like you and I joke about this all the time when things come up, we're just like, reasons I wouldn't want Drew's job.
Yeah,
like
no. It's not a job.
Trying to like sometimes you're trying to put a puzzle together and they're pieces from different puzzles, and it just is difficult.
So looking at the scrimmage or looking at the schedule, here's a different graphic for you if you prefer this one with dates and whatnot, and in order, columns left to right. The scrimmage is Saturday the 22nd. Again, I don't know who it's against. I don't know where it's going to be. We were supposed to go to Coatesville. Like if you're flip-flopping years, the next one was at Coatesville at 10 a.m. However, it's not on the official athletics site. The schedule is not there. And I had heard that there was a possibility that the scrimmage was going to change. So as of right now, as of March 15th, 2026, I don't know when – or I don't know where or who will be playing for the scrimmage. I don't know if it'll be at home. I don't know if it'll be away. But it will be August 22nd. And it usually starts at 10 a.m. So that gives you an idea. Hopefully soon we'll know who and where. But for now, the season gets started with the scrimmage on August 22nd. The first game is going to be Governor Mifflin. It is going to be a road game. It's still the whiteout. Mifflin is always the whiteout. It's back at game 1, which I either want at game 1 or game 10. I don't like when it's game 2 or game 6.
So game 2 grew on me when that was
Labor Day
weekend. So like that aspect of it grew on me just because it
would be my third choice.
Get such a big crowd, which just adds to that game. But
it would be my third choice.
1 or 10 is when that game should.
I want it to be 10. They
it
have
should
to
not
be in section
random
1 for that,
in between.
Though.
Like
game 6 was so weird. So I'm glad we're done with that. But
doesn't have to be section 1. Lebanon Cedar Crest play week.
No, but I'm saying I want them in section 1, so that game matters.
No. I understand.
I want Wilson Mifflin to matter for the section race.
I understand.
I know it could be game 10 because I know they're in intersectional games that don't matter for the league standings. But So it's game one. So we're going to Shillington on August 28th. That is the whiteout game. It doesn't matter if it's home or away. It's always the whiteout game. So wear white, go to Mifflin. I know for those of you that hate the Mifflin stands, I'm sorry. Get there early. I don't know what else to say there. But Bulldogs, Mustangs at the very end of August, just the end of the first week of school, correct? That'd be they have off Friday, but that's leading into Labor Day, right?
What's the date?
Oh, no, Labor Day is the 7th.
Labor Day is
isn't it?
super late.
Oh, yeah, Labor Day is
we'll
late. So, yeah, it's not.
Friday.
So
What's the date?
It's August 28th. But that you'll have school starting the 24th, I think.
Dude, you're asking the wrong person.
What would you know?
That's a problem for future Justin.
I'm trying to make it a problem for you now. All right. So, anyways, game one, August 28th at Governor Mifflin. Game two, Friday, September 4th. This is the Friday before Labor Day because of how late Labor Day is this year. And guess what, Justin? It is a brand new opponent.
It is.
It is a marquee opponent.
And by the way, brand new opponents can be tough to come by for a team that's been around for 80 plus years.
Right. And look, they might not carry the same panache as they did 25 to 30 years ago.
Yeah, they're still good.
But they're still a very, very good program. They've got plenty of state championships that they can point to, and that is CB West. So that crew that was dominant in the late 90s, early 2000s. Wilson's going to go tangle with CB West on Friday, September 4th.
28th is a regular school day, by the way.
Okay, there you go. Heard it here first. But you'll want to go to that one. If you travel to the road games, I'm going to say you're going to want to see this game at CB West. So game 3, Justin. All right. Game 1 road. Game 2 road. Game 3's got to be at home, right?
You would have thought.
You would think, but no. We talked about the weird stuff that goes
Road
down
Warriors.
with the scheduling. Bulldogs are starting on the road first 3 games. However, much like game 1, you don't have to travel too far for game 3 because for the first time in decades, at least in the regular season, the Bulldogs are tangling with the Mules at Muhlenberg.
Well, to be fair, first time in decades without it being in it. Like if you count any matchups, but if you want to count regular season matchups, whew, boy.
Regular season, I did this when we kind of talked about this back in November. I believe it was the 70s that. Maybe 80s, but I feel like it was late 70s last time Wilson played at Muhlenberg. And actually on the Muhlenberg campus, because I know the Muhlenberg and Wilson played at Baseball Town, at Municipal Memorial Stadium.
So that's throwing me off, because I was thinking, I'm like, I think they played since...
Haven't played in Laureldale in a long time. I think 50-ish years. Played in the playoffs in 2008. Played in the playoffs when I played my senior year, 2002. But regular season-wise, it's been decades since Muhlenberg and Wilson has played, and it's been a long time for it to be at the home of the Mules. So definitely want to get to that one. So, yes, 3 road games to start, but the first 2 you're not leaving Berks County.
Right,
which is rarity. Districts. Right.
Like, for us to play, well, I mean, I guess we've played at Mifflin and at Reading and stuff, but like...
Sure.
When you start throwing in some of those other Berks County schools, hey, it's something, it's something to see.
I'm sure transportation department doesn't mind it. I feel like it's easier to get bus drivers to drive to Muhlenberg or Mifflin than it is to drive to Lancaster, Lebanon, York.
Well, and also you don't have to leave at 3:15.
Yeah.
Like that CB West game, they're going to have to leave early because you're driving. There's going to be traffic. There's going to be all kinds of things.
Yeah, so... That's the first 3. Now you'll be happy to know that we're returning to Gursky Stadium for the first time, possibly the entire season, depending on what happens with the scrimmage. The first home game is not until Friday, September 18th.
Right. Combination of late Labor Day and playing 3 road games to start.
So, but that actually kicks off a 3-game homestand. Right. So Wilson plays 3 on the road to start, then 3 straight at home, starting with Manheim Township, the game that had been Week 10, Game 10 for a number of years because it was LL Section 1 championship, basically. Get Manheim Township to start with. And I know a lot of you are like, didn't we just host Manheim Township in 2025? Indeed we did. But anytime that there is the reorganization, things get messed up, and Manheim Township to them, I'm sure draws the short straw, having to go back to Wilson for a second time. This did just happen 8 years ago, where we went to Manheim Townships, I think, 3 times in a calendar year, including a playoff game, just because it was a new 2-year flip, and we had to go back there in 2018 after playing there twice in 2017. It is what it is. There is no conspiracy out to get any team. It just happens that way sometimes. So while we get to host Manheim Township, and I'm now seeing that I have Manheim Township here listed twice, which is obviously a mistake. We can go to this schedule, because I know that this one is indeed correct. I have some things shifted here. So we'll go back to this one. So we have Manheim Township on September 18th, the first home game of the season. That will be youth night. And I believe it will also, it'll be youth night. So youth night will be a fun event on September 18th. Then, so we hosted Township last year. We hosted Reading last year. We're hosting Township this year, and we're hosting Reading this year. Back-to-back games. Reading High on September 25th.
Which is kind of crazy, because can you imagine if we would have had 3 away games within Berks County in the same season like that? That would be a rarity. That already hasn't happened
when
in a long
the
time.
schedule initially came out, that is what was to happen.
Right, yeah.
But things got shifted and finalized, and now Reading High will be a home game on September 25th. Then we'll wrap up the 3-game homestand on October 2nd against Cedar Crest. So, it's going to be a good one. As I realized on the Reds schedule, Justin, I put Manheim Township on there twice, and I completely forgot our trip to Penn Manor. How do I overlook that one? Oh, my goodness.
If we're going to forget one, that's not the one to forget.
No, road trip to Penn Manor is not one to forget. So after the third straight home game against Cedar Crest on October 2nd, we will then go back on the road 2 weeks in a row to Hempfield. Yes, we played at Hempfield last year. Again, quirkiness. Going back to Hempfield this year.
Guaranteed to be a 3.5-hour game,
Yeah,
right?
it's been some wild ones down at Hempfield the last couple times we've been there. 2026, returning to George Ellis Law Firm Stadium down in Landisville to tangle with Hempfield, who has that receiver back again this year, Justin. He was a junior last year.
Yes.
So we'll see how the Bulldogs handle him.
Yeah, I feel like they had a number of young guys on that team last year, so it'll be interesting.
Wilson Township, I feel, are always 1A, 1B, depending on who you talk to. Hempfield's one that I think you need to pay attention to. So, and Wilson's got to go there again in 2026. The second straight road game for the Bulldogs will be on October 16th, just about 7 months from right now. And this one is at Millersville, Beamsdorfer Stadium, home of
Sugar Bowl,
home of Millersville University. And Sugar Bowl trip for Justin and I. Didn't get it last year because Penn Manor came to Gursky.
And 2 years ago, we didn't get our pregame one because it took us 2 hours to get there.
Yeah, no repeat of that. This one could be fun, though, Justin, because I believe Natalie's going to be along for this one. Yeah. I might send her on the bus. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, there we go.
You get used to it, kid. You got 4 years of it in your future. So, but yeah, Penn Manor, October 16th. Then the home finale, at least regular season, is the crossover game, not with an LL foe, with York Adams, who are changing their name, by the way. Yes. But for now, the York Adams League. And it's going to be with York Adams' #1 team, Central York, who obviously ended the Bulldog season just this past November. They're coming to Gursky for a non-league regular season tilt on October 23rd.
There's going to be plenty to see in that game, too.
Absolutely. And then we're finishing things up on Halloween Eve, All Hallows Eve, on October 30th. Away, but at the brand new home of the Red Tornado.
Yes.
Again, they played their road games away, their home games on the road away from their stadium because of renovations that now feature, finally, a turf field.
Right.
And we will get to see J.P. McCaskey on October 30th for Game 10. So I know it's messed up because I have some of the teams messed up here in the middle, but I believe the game against Reading will be the salute to service. The gold out will be on October 2nd against Cedar Crest. Yeah, so I'll have to update that because I clearly messed that up. And how do I mess the Penn Manor one? Man, that is a huge oversight on my part, Justin. That's a bad one. That's
you know
a bad
what? We're
one.
gonna have to dock your pay for that.
Let's go right ahead. All right, so here we are in 2026, and we want to know, who are going to be the leaders of this team. We lost a lot of big names, big time players graduating here in June that won't be back with the Bulldogs. But the cupboard's not bare, Justin. There is a great crop of current juniors, the rising seniors that are ready to return. A couple All-State players in E.J. Brownback and Michael Glover. But then a variety of players that were spotlighted by Burks and LL as primetime performers and all-stars, and they are going to lead the way. And each year in the offseason, the coaching staff and the players, well, really, it's a players-led thing. They select leaders that are doing everything on and off the field the right way. And we have the first two for this year, Justin. The first two lead dogs, and up first is to-be senior Cole Peterson. He has been a mainstay since he was a freshman, has been contributing for the varsity crew the last couple of years, played a big role last year, backup quarterback, starting at outside linebacker, also a big-time special teams player at long snapper. And he was the first individual selected by the 2026 team as someone that is leading the team the right way. So congratulations to Cole for that honor, and we look forward to him battling for the starting quarterback job throughout the spring and summer. And he is one of the names to watch out for as we go full steam ahead, and look forward to mid-June when the 7-on-7 will really start to show us what this 2026 team can do. And then, probably to no surprise, Michael Glover also picked as the second lead dog for this offseason. He was selected by the players as another person putting in the work and always showing constant effort on and off the field in leading the Wilson football team. Well, Justin, there's been a lot happening in the world of Michael Glover recently.
Yes.
He is obviously a big-time high school football player. He's already got a year left to go, and he's a two-time All-State selection. So you knew at some point colleges were going to pick up onto that.
Absolutely.
And they picked up in a absolutely huge way over the last few months, to the tune of, what are we at? I think 17 scholarship offers now for Michael Glover. And if you've been following the Wilson Bulldogs account, I have been trying to chronicle them to the best of my ability. They've been coming so fast and furious that sometimes I have to group them together, depending on how quickly I can get to a computer or my phone to edit these things. But we'll run through them really quick. I believe Michael's first offer was from Old Dominion. And then came Temple, Buffalo, Cornell, Lehigh, Army, Yale, Stony Brook, Maine, Georgetown, Miami, Ohio, Bowling Green, Dartmouth, Navy, one of my favorites on here, Justin, Air Force, Kent State, and the University of Delaware. So all three military schools have come knocking for Michael Glover, and some Ivy League thrown in there for good measure. Some pretty prestigious schools, Cornell, Yale, Dartmouth, just wild collection of teams coming to try to secure the services of Michael Glover. I don't know timeline for him. I haven't talked to him about it. Just private, personal, family conversations that'll happen. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if he holds out a little bit longer and doesn't rush to make a decision before the season starts, especially you're a two-time All-State player with your senior year to go. The tape you put out this fall could sway a few more teams to come knocking.
And like we've seen it, he clearly has momentum going here, which we knew. Like you and I have had this conversation for a while. We knew that like all it would take is someone to give him a look, like a serious look, and they would see what I feel like a lot of people see. To quote our buddy Paul Roberts, he talks about this all the time, like with Division I players, he's like, you see him and it's just different, right? Like it's different. That's what it's like when you're watching Michael. Like it's different. I think of the game last year where he runs away from a defensive back,
Right.
where I thought he was going to stiff arm the defensive back into next week.
He used his speed.
Which he is also capable of doing.
100% capable of doing that.
And it wasn't like, a short distance. It was like a 70-yard run. He outran a defensive back as a tight end, like was running away. It's just, you watch Mike, it looks different. So it doesn't surprise me that when coaches really start to kind of see that. Now, again, I say that not being a college football coach, so it is. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's exciting to see that kind of rolling for him.
Michael's not the only one that's getting recognition, and I know I didn't mean to bury the lead because this is kind of a big deal to talk about, but the Bulldogs had a individual move into the district in December. He's one of Michael's pretty close friends, and he is himself picking up quite the list of offers over the last few months, just like Michael. So we do want to welcome Justice Hardy to the Wilson football team. He's moved in from Wyomissing and is also a multi-time All-State performer. He's two-time All-State defensive back. He's an electric running back on offense and is a pretty good returner for special teams. So Justice Hardy will be wearing red and white of the Wilson Bulldogs this coming season, and I've been tracking his offers as he steamrolls towards a future commitment to play college football. And his offer sheet looks very similar to Michael Glover's. Let's take a look here if I can find there it is. Okay, so let's start with Justice's offers. All right, here we go. I think we're almost at 20, so there's a lot of teams to read off here. All right, so Justice Hardy has offers from Liberty, Kent State, Temple, Rice, West Virginia, Buffalo, Duke, Miami, Ohio, Army, West Point, North Carolina, Lehigh, Old Dominion, Cornell, Boston College, Cincinnati, Wake Forest, Pitt, Navy, and the latest, the University of Connecticut. Pretty good list too, Justin.
It is.
And both Michael and Justice continue to take visits, get offers. It's pretty much gotten to a point. Well, there was one point where it was multiple in a day, back-to-back days. It's been rare for there to be more than a week go by without one or both of them receiving an offer. So congratulations to Michael. Congratulations to Justice. Cannot wait to see the two of them and the group, the class of 2027, get on the football field this summer and fall. It should be a great, great season. Shaping up to be a fun one at Instashine Field at Gursky Stadiums. The 4 times we'll be there, Justin. Hey,
maybe more.
Wait, it's got to be more. It's got to be more.
They got a chance to earn more. Got to do it.
So, absolutely looking forward to this season. I'm super amped up. I'm very excited. But so that's most of the stuff on the field, Wilson football related. There was a few things before we wrap up here, Justin, with the season 12 premiere of the show that I wanted to address or put out there, congratulate, or just get out there for people to see. I posted this beginning of the month a couple weeks ago, but remember, March is National Athletic Training Month. And we do want to extend our thanks to the head athletic trainer, Kieran Melagrana, and assistant athletic trainer, Kyle Moore. Also, congratulations, Kyle.
Dad again.
Dad times 2.
Yep.
And, we just want to take a moment to recognize them and their entire staff. So there's a lot of students, collegiate students and Wilson students that help out so that Wilson Sports Medicine can operate at the standard that they do, which is the best of the best.
Right.
So thank you to Kieran, Kyle, and crew at Wilson Sports Medicine. Wanted to recognize them here for National Athletic Training Month and highlight their care you can count on, and I posted some photos I've collected. Most of them were from last year, maybe one or two from a year ago, but they're always there, always caring for the young men of not just Wilson football, but obviously this is the Wilson football show, and this is where I've taken photos of them on the sidelines at Wilson football games, but obviously they care for all student athletes at Wilson, and they are just getting started with spring season with lacrosse and baseball and softball and track and field and volleyball, boys volleyball. So no rest for the weary.
No. And spring sports, man. Ooh, it can be cold.
The weather,
outside.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The weather is interesting. I was thinking about that the other day. That look, I don't like the way how hot it is for the start of football season, but I would take hot to cold much more than cold and wet.
I would be stunned if I haven't said this to you before, just because of all the things we've talked about for so long. Spring's the worst. Spring is the worst. Not necessarily the events of spring. I love baseball coming back. I love Bulldog Hour coming back. I love March Madness. I love all of these different things. But most of the spring is just not fun. And even when it is nice, it has rained for a week and everything's muddy, so you can't really be outside. It's just spring is like fall, but not as nice. So
No,
I'd pick fall over spring every
Fall
time.
is like you could.
Summer's the best, then fall.
No, summer is not the best. September through December is the best 4 months of the year. You cannot tell me otherwise. There is a strong correlation that because Wilson football is happening during that time frame, that certainly has something to do with it. But yeah, for sure. So just a couple more things here. Let's talk about some alums. How about that? How about a big one from December? So Wilson High School class of 2022, football fall of 2021, district runner-up. Jaden Jones has made his way to Navy football. The big boy like Navy football, and not only was he on the roster, he's playing on special teams as a young sailor to be. And he was on the field during the Army-Navy game. Justin and I went to the Army-Navy game in 2022, and I know Justin and I, and an extended group of us now, as more and more people get interested, will be going back to Army-Navy, not this coming December, but the following December, 2027, when it's back in Philadelphia. And Jaden Jones and a handful of other Berks County graduates, former Berks County football players, will be upperclassmen with the Navy football team, and we're going to go and cheer them on. So just putting that out there right now. Anyone that is interested, definitely want to be looking for ways to secure Army-Navy tickets in 2027 back in Philadelphia, because you'll be able to see a handful or more of Berks County athletes.
It was easy for me to secure them last time. I just
said,
let you do it, and then you told me what I owed you.
It did work out. It worked out really well. So, yeah, actually, it was my dad that alerted me to this because I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, but thankfully I was recording the game. And he was like, I'm pretty sure I just saw Jaden on the screen.
That's awesome.
Quick rewound it. I was like, not only was on the screen, I mean, he was plastered right in front of it for the kickoff return. And I know the score looks bad right there, right now, but don't forget, Navy won, and that's what really matters.
I have a feeling you're not going to forget.
So congratulations to Jaden and continued success to him and the Navy football team. All right, so next up, something that's been gaining steam is House Bill 41. Yes, not meant to get political here on the show, but this is strictly related to football, PIAA football, and that is as far as we're going to go when it comes to politics. But Pennsylvania House Bill 41, separation of public and private schools in the PIAA playoffs. It is gaining steam and support. It is bipartisan. There's representatives from both sides of the aisle, so we don't need to worry about that. And they are rallying people to go up to the Capitol and support HB 41. And, trying to get school districts and football teams to support it, promote it, and get people there. You can check them out on Facebook. Just Facebook search support HB 41, and you can get more information. I did also share it across the Wilson football accounts about six weeks or so ago. It was like the end of January. He reached out to me. The people in charge is a recent, semi-recent Parkland grad, a little bit younger than myself, that, is trying to get this ball rolling and really put pressure on the representatives, the government officials to get this passed. And all this bill would do is allow the PIAA to separate it, because PIAA is dragging their feet, saying that legislature says they cannot do it. So House Bill 41 would essentially, bringing this down to as boilerplate as I can get it, would allow the PIAA to actually separate public and private schools for playoffs legally, because that PIAA says they can't do that right now. And this bill would basically say, now you can. Right. Doesn't mean they're going to, but it makes the pathway for them easier.
It makes them have to own their decision.
Right. So definitely check them out. And then last thing, Justin, a little bit football adjacent, but I did post this on the football channels right around the end of this past season. Yeah. It happened, but one of my former Wilson West football players tackled a big-time goal, which was running across the entire state of Pennsylvania. Again, this happened already. This happened in November, right before Thanksgiving. Brendan Morgan, he was a Wilson graduate of class of 2016 in support and promotion of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. He ran across the entire state of Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I caught wind of it happening just after he had passed this area and, close to the end of his trip. So we didn't get to go out and take pictures, video, and support him as he ran down Penn Avenue, I believe. I found out about it just a bit too late, but I did want to point it out and congratulate Brendan on a job well done and for his fundraising and support of NAMI. And Brendan's someone that I would love to catch up with and record a spot about, his reasoning for doing it and just his accomplishments since graduation. Because a pretty amazing thing that he did, not something that many people can say they've ever done. So congratulations to Brendan. And you can certainly Google more about him, and he ran across the state back in November. I posted a bunch of links about it and reposted them on Twitter X as well. But definitely an awesome accomplishment from Brendan Morgan. All right, Justin, I think that's it.
I just had one more, and this is a Wilson athletics thing, not necessarily football, but Josh Harkless
there you go.
Winning Division III heavyweight national title yesterday was pretty amazing. I went on and watched the replay. It was pretty awesome. Got the takedown with less than 10 seconds left to beat an undefeated returning national champ, the guy he lost to in the semis last year, too. Awesome. Just really cool to see. So just wanted to throw that out real quick.
Since this is our first show since November, a bunch of great stuff has happened for Wilson Athletics. Obviously, the couple big ones, girls basketball won county and district championships, first time since 2014. And I did notice, Justin, unfortunately, this is the way state playoffs work. Right. The team they beat in districts got easier matchups and are now in the state semifinals.
Yeah.
So that's the way it happens sometimes. Obviously, it's hard to make statewide sports quote fair at all times. Right. And I'm not complaining, just pointing it out that Dallastown is in the state semis and Wilson beat them in the district championship. Right. Wilson got a tough draw, having to Cardinal O'Hara, obviously no slouch when it comes to sports. Wilson Aquatics, swimming and diving, tearing it up once again. Yep. Just quality program from Snyder and Hauk and their group. I did want to bring up, because I know we had a state champion, and Kai Boyer.
Boyer.
Yes.
I did. And we had a couple of people set county records.
Records. So all kinds of amazing stuff. See if I can. Here we go.
I think Evelyn Cook took a silver.
So Paul Roberts, I'm give him a shout out for posting this. Kai Boyer finished first in the 100 butterfly in the 3A finals, and his time of 47.53, new Berks County record. He is committed to Westchester. And it's his second straight state championship in the event. So fantastic stuff from the swimmers all around. I think, did the teams finish like 6th and 8th or 5th and 7th, something?
Yeah. Really strong showings, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying. Here we go. Oh, this is from a week ago. This is a bunch of. I mean, they also did amazing at districts as well.
Yeah. Girls won districts.
Yeah, so Austin Negrini, Keegan Eisenhofer, Kai Boyer, Robert Hauk, Grayson D. Mariano, Evelyn Quick, Marley Ament, Kendall Boucher, Sydney Woods, and Ava Long, all gold at districts about a week ago. And both teams performing great at districts and states. And again, individual medalists. Just fantastic.
Right.
So, and we mentioned Jaden Carpenter up at Nationals for indoor.
And McCaden Spiess won first state title for Wilson
you mentioned
Wrestling.
Harkless. Yeah, McCaden Spiess.
1982.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been 44 years since an individual state champion in wrestling.
Awesome sudden victory win. Great job. Oh, also now the Burke's all-time leader with 198 wins, I believe, ended his career. And going to Navy.
I was just about to say, you know where McCaden Spiess is going too, right? Yeah, another Navy guy. So awesome. What a fantastic sports season for the Bulldogs fall and winter. And guess what? We just mentioned we're only in the spring now, and baseball, softball, both lacrosse teams, boys volleyball, track and field.
Boys tennis.
Tennis. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be great. The Wilson community is spoiled by the amount of great athletes and coaches leading them. Go out and support them. Hit it up. I know Paul Roberts is always saying, show your face. Get out here. Go, during the winter, go to Santander when they have those big games. Get to your local high schools. Support everyone that is performing for the school and doing it in a great way. So, anything else, Justin? Anything else you wanted to say?
No, there's a lot. I just wanted to try and get some of those shout outs out there.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm glad you mentioned that because I wanted to get to that.
But yeah, it's exciting. So hopefully we can keep the success going through the spring and then hit the ground running next fall.
Yeah, and I don't know when we'll be back for episode 2. Hopefully it will be in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe there'll be a awesome guest joining us or two. We shall see. But season 12 just getting started. Expect big things from Justin and I here at the Bulldog Hour, and even bigger things from the student athletes on the field at InstaShine Car Wash Field at John Gursky Stadium this fall. August 28th, Shillington, kickoff. I'm ready, Justin.
Yeah, I know you are.
All right, well, that's it for us here for the season premiere of the Bulldog Hour. We'll be back again real soon. Follow us on social at Bulldog Hour or the football team at Wilson Bulldogs or at Wilson Bulldogs Football. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter X, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. And, of course, visit the website for not only Bulldog Hour information, but also history, heritage, and football team information, including this year's squad at bulldoghour.com. That's it. So for Justin Raffoff and the entire Wilson football team, I'm Joe Mays. Until next time, remember, go Bulldogs.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Bulldog Hour. Want more Wilson football? Follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. Or visit www.bulldoghour.com. The Bulldog Hour is a featured program on jmnjrradio.com.